and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today we are going to be doing another Slimline card because I'm in love with Slimline cards. And we're going to be using some stamp sets by Catherine Pooler. It is the Grace in Bloom stamp set, and then the background stamp that I'm using is the Beehive background. We're going to do some Copic Coloring, and I'm going to stamp the big main image twice, and then there's some smaller floral images, and I'm going to stamp those both of those 4 times. And I have a little trick to show you how to use your mini MISTI to stamp 4 times on the same piece of cardstock where you don't have to move your stamp. So I'm going to show you that too. So the other thing I wanted to point out is I am actually using a cover plate for the Slimline cards that I designed, and I will link that bundle. It's a Slimline bundle that I have over in my shop. And it has like the thin frames, rounded frames. I have rounded corner frames in there, and then I have some just general stuff that you can use with your Slimline cards, because it's not very easy to die cut like a stitched rectangle frame for your Slimline cards. The dies aren't long enough for the most part, and there's a lot of companies like Pink Fresh and a couple other companies that have come out with some Slimline products, but I'm just using my Silhouette Cameo, and I have the digital file download, the digital cut files for you over in my shop. So I'll link to that in my blog post. I'm not going to link to it on the YouTube video, so you'll need to go over to my blog to actually get the files for that. But so if you notice here, I am stamping the 4 images. Well, then there's room, but you can't really turn the paper around the right way. So flip the paper over and stamp it, because it will be in the opposite corners, and then you can just turn your paper over and color on it. It's the same thing. There's just flip the paper over and you get all the images that you need. So I'm going to do some Copic Coloring here. I actually kept my colors pretty basic. I'm using for greens 100, which is my darkest green color. It's the darkest color because it's black, but I'm using 100, G29, G24, G21, G20, and then for the blues I'm going to be using B37, B06, B04, 02, and 00, and then for the violets, V09, V06, 04, 01, and 000. And I'm going to of course link all of those in the product list down below over to Blick Art Supplies there. And they have great shipping and great customer service. I actually had a marker like in shipping, it opened, and when it got here it was practically dried out, and they replaced it no problem one time. So absolutely fantastic company, and I love them. Great prices too. So I'm going to play some music while you watch the Copic Coloring, because it's really basic Copic Coloring for everything. But it is very relaxing to watch. So I'm going to play a little bit of music while you watch that, and then we'll come back and finish up the card. finished with the Copic Coloring, and now we're going to stamp our background panel here. And of course, the stamp itself isn't as long as the panel that I'm using, and I kind of futzed with this a little bit to figure out the best way to stamp this. And the first time that I did it, I went ahead and flipped it over like I normally would, and then the second half of it I stamped. I actually picked it up and put it on a block and picked it up and stamped it. I kind of struggled with this a little bit, and when I figure out the best way to do it, I'll let you know. And thankfully, how I have this card created in the background panel, the background will actually cover up how it's so close and that kind of thing. The ink that I used is the new Distress ink by the Speckled Egg Color. I love that Speckled Egg Color. It's amazing. So there's the cover plate, and I'm just getting ready to have a really bad storm here at the house. So if you hear thunder in the background, that's what it is. I just saw a streak of lightning come across. Welcome to summer in Virginia. Anyway, so I am actually kind of just organizing my flowers on my panel, trying to figure out how I want to arrange them, you know, that kind of thing. And then I am going to pull out the Jennifer McGuire trick, and I'm going to use the Glad Cling Wrap Press and Seal. There we go. So I don't lose my placement there. I'm just going to pull out the old cling press and seal there, and I'm going to pick up all of my elements and glue everything down all at one time. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. So when you're doing this method, you know, of course it's slightly sticky and it doesn't leave a residue, and I was able to move my stuff around how I wanted it, and like my main elements stayed exactly where I wanted them to, and then like the little ones I pulled off because I didn't really know exactly where I was going to shift those to. And then I put my liquid adhesive, and I'm still using the Elmer's liquid adhesive, the Glue All, and I put that around absolutely everywhere that I needed it to be. And then I put glue on the backs of all of the little flowers, and then I flipped it over and I stuck it down. It was just that simple. It was so easy. I love clean press and seal when I'm doing something like this. Amazingly easy. Okay, so a couple things. We are on day 6 of 30 days of cards. Tomorrow and the next couple of cards are actually going to be just something way different. They're going to be cards inspired by music, by songs that I have fallen in love with. And if you know anything about me, if you follow me on any kind of social media, or you've heard me talk before about sometimes I get obsessed with different music and genres and that kind of thing, I'm a little bit on the hair metal band and punk pop right now, and I am my next card is inspired by the most recent release of Machine Gun Kelly, actually, Bloody Valentine, and it is a very bright pink card. So don't be shocked by that. I just kind of wanted to give you a little heads up that that's coming. And then I'm going to have a card inspired by a song by Motley Crue. And then I think I have a John Mayer song picked out that I'm going to do a card for. And then I'm coming up with a couple more as well. And I have tons of more projects, of course, to come. So stick with me through the month. And then in July, like I've said before, and if you're showing up and haven't, you know, talked to me before, haven't watched my videos before, in July we're going to do Christmas in July and make some Christmas cards and some Christmas projects, gifts, that sort of thing. And then I wanted you to be aware of that I teach classes. I teach card making classes. I have Card Making 101, which is a really basic foundational course that has lots of information. It's totally free, and there's a link to it in the description below, and of course it's linked to it in the sidebar over on my blog and stuff. And then there is the Card Makers Society, and the Card Makers Society is a monthly membership program that goes through some of Card Making 101, but it goes a little bit more in depth. in that it has 2 more success paths in the project. It's in the monthly membership itself, and there's an intermediate and an advanced card making there. But then every single month there is also a different lesson. It's 4 lessons about the same topic, and this month, of course, it is masculine cards because we have Father's Day here. So check that out over on in the description below, and there is a link to all of the information that's over on my blog that will link you to getting registered for the monthly membership program of the Card Maker Society. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel here if you haven't already done that, so you don't miss any of the 30 days of cards. And now back to the card at hand. So I've gotten everything glued down. I stamped my sentiment, and everything's flat glued down. I didn't like pop anything up or anything like that. And then I'm going to take some glossy accents and add some little dots of glossy accents all over the place, make it look like little dewdrops and that kind of thing on some flowers and in the background there. And I'm also added a little bit of sparkle. Hi, Daisy. Daisy's telling y'all hi. Add a little bit of sparkle in the centers of my flowers as well. So I hope you enjoy this Slimline card. I'm really liking the Slimline stuff. Amazing. And head over to my blog so you can pick up your Slimline package of digital cut files as well. And we'll see you tomorrow with a wonderful music inspired card. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great afternoon.